Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to NXT March 7th, 2018 review. This episode was very storyline driven and very well done. I actually did enjoy this episode. We got some very good build, especially Thomas Ciampa, with him being booed by the audience. A lot of booing, a lot of kayfabe, a lot of that. Very much so. The fans were upset with Thomas Ciampa. They have made him legitimately a bad guy, a heel in NXT. He is the all-time best heel right now in NXT. I don't think there's anyone better than him. I think truly, deep down, people really do dislike Ciampa, despite the fact they may like him as a wrestler, but in the sense of actual on-screen, character-wise, they truly despise him. Like for instance, Ric Flair back in the day, or Triple H. He really was disliked tonight on this episode. I could not believe how loud the crowd was. The only thing I didn't like is they did not give him one moment or of an opportunity to state his reasoning behind why he left Johnny Gargano and DIY's tag team disband. Why he let that disband. What was the reason back in May of 2017 at NXT TakeOver Chicago that he went about going this way with Johnny Gargano? So that leaves a lot of questioning. But on top of that, there is a reason behind that, and I can tell you why. I understand from my point of view, I'm kind of rushing it and making the storyline be pushed forward very quickly in comparison to what NXT wants to do with this. They want to juice it out as much as humanly possible. Enough to where the crowd will still invest, but at some point will unload the information to the crowd to why Thomas Ciampa did what he did. We're going to eventually see Johnny Gargano show up, but we are not going to see these men compete at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. If that happens, they're going to totally screw this up. This needs to happen at another TakeOver event that might happen in May or wait till Brooklyn, New York. That is the truth behind this. I think that's the best way to build this storyline up, and I think that's what we're going to get between these two guys. And more than likely, I have a gut feeling they may make the main event of the NXT TakeOver that they compete at for their match. That I do believe. This is a very heated storyline match. In my personal opinion, I see this as like Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. These two guys truly, legitimately hate each other, especially Ciampa. He has a very dislike towards Johnny Gargano for whatever reason. Yet we didn't get any explanation. We did see him explode on a fan with a sign, a picture of Johnny Gargano's logo face and Johnny Gargano's name written on the piece of paper, and him taking that poster and shredding it in half, and then taking it in the middle of the ring and taking a oh, Jesus, you guys are going to say to me, what the fuck's wrong with you, pal? You don't even know what the hell a crutch. He took a crutch. I forgot the name of what it was. A crutch. And he started bashing the shit out of the sign. And pretty much taking the crutch and turning it into a bent up piece of crap. But no sign or no explanation to why he is so hateful towards Johnny Gargano in the first place. Which is kind of sad, but I have a gut feeling after TakeOver New Orleans, we may get that. We may get our answer to everything that's going on with Johnny Gargano and Thomas Ciampa. So that's just my personal opinion. You guys leave your comments and opinions down below what you guys think might be going on with how they're trying to build this. Are they trying to build this slow, or do you think this is going to go straight to TakeOver New Orleans? I hope it's not going to go to New Orleans because they ain't got enough weeks to build up to this event. So, getting into other things, we had our first round of the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team tournament. The Authors of Pain versus TM61. They, from what I heard, were the final two tag teams at the finals of last year's Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Tournament. And personally, this match was a good opener. I actually enjoyed this match. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Good action overall by both men. One move that was performed on one of the guys from TM61, Authors of Pain, power bombed him outside the ring, and they hit the side of the hard part of the apron and landed outside the ring. And then the Authors of Pain hit their tag team finishing maneuver together, getting the 1-2-3. So, Authors of Pain are already starting to move up. I honestly believe they're going to win the Tag Team Classic again and compete for the tag team titles at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. So I think that's what's going to happen, and then the Undisputed Era of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are going to retain their tag team titles once again. What else happened? We had a women's match that wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't really even watch it. It kind of just went off into space, so I didn't really care for that. And then the main event was Aleister Black against Killian Dane. This was basically, I would assume, a number one contenders match to determine who's going to face Andre Cien for his NXT World Championship. Overall, I thought the match was decent. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, mostly because Aleister Black, he did a lot of good lion salts from the top rope, one off the top rope outside the ring, one from the middle rope in the ring onto Killian Dane. And just the action was back and forth, pretty, normal competition. Killian Dane didn't really make anything jump out at me and make me go ooh or ah or anything. He was decent, but he ain't no ring general, if that's what you're trying to get at me, guys. So, in my personal opinion, I don't think Killian Dane is that big of a deal that he had the right to state he wants the NXT World Championship. I see him as a faction guy. I don't ever see him competing for a world title on his own. I don't see him ever doing anything like that. He doesn't look like world championship material. Is he horrible in the ring? No, I don't think he's horrible, but I don't think he's the best either. He's definitely not world championship material, in my opinion. If it was up to me, I wouldn't even be concerned about this. We also had some confrontation about Pete Dunne, the UK champion, with Adam Cole during a segment before before the main event of NXT TakeOver. And this NXT event, we did see Adam Cole and Pete Dunne have a little bit of a confrontation, and it was announced that next week Pete Dunne will be defending his UK championship against Adam Cole. Now, personally, with Adam Cole really kind of floating around here, doesn't have much to do at this point. He's not competing for a world title. He's not doing much of anything. He didn't do much last week either in his in-ring competition. So personally, in my own mind, Pete Dunne should be defending the UK Championship at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I really don't see the point of Adam Cole having this title match now, unless they're planning on having him win the UK title from Pete Dunne, and then have Pete Dunne get his rematch clause against Adam Cole. I don't see that happening. I see Adam Cole losing, but personally, if you're going to make Adam Cole compete for the the UK Championship, why not have it happen at an NXT TakeOver event? I mean, Pete Dunne already competed against Roderick Strong one-on-one. So I don't see the reasoning behind that he should defend it against Adam Cole right now, next week, when they got about 3 more weeks to go before NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, it's a good match, no doubt. I'm not stating that it's a bad idea that they have the match, but it is something that they could go on for Adam Cole to use to compete in the middle of the ring at an NXT TakeOver, to at least have him on the card. And Pete Dunne puts on a great performance with anybody he works with, so why not have that for him as well to showcase his in-ring abilities in front of a 15,000 plus crowd. I just don't see the reasoning behind that. Make the man have to defend his title more than have him defend the title twice in 1 month. I mean, he defended it 2 weeks ago. So I don't see the point here of making him have to defend it now when he should be defending it at the NXT TakeOver show, and have them build a little bit of a storyline for him and Adam Cole to work with going into the NXT TakeOver event with the UK Championship on the line. So that's my overall opinion about the show. I mean, there was a little bit of things here and there I didn't agree with, but a lot of it I actually did enjoy. There wasn't much to say that was bad, except for like the UK thing and getting a little bit of insight from Ciampa, but I did enjoy the interaction that Ciampa had with the crowd. He did not appreciate the crowd booing him every time he was trying to talk. There was when you see that's something you can appreciate. But we didn't get nothing out of him from this episode, seeing him on television. So I hope eventually, at some point, we get some kind of insight to why Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano. This has been going on for months now. Ciampa's been out with injury, and Johnny Gargano got screwed out of the championship twice in the last 2 championship matches that he had with Cien Almas. So at this point, you got to see that there's got to be some kind of insight that they got to give to us as the audience to why Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano in the first place back in May of 2017. But anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Hit the like button if you liked the video, by the way. And also hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a great night.